I don't know what records nobody broke, Kevin.
Yeah, I broke Eddie's record.
I ain't been on stage in 27 years.
Hey guys, what's good? Listen, Kevin Hart never beats the allegations of being a product of the Hollywood getting famous scheme. Kevin Hart has been trending for a couple of months now, and it's not even for some applauding reason. He has been taking up the headlines for reasons that could ruin the brand he has built over the years. Everyone is already familiar with the Katt Williams and Kevin Hart long-standing beef. But it's about to get more interesting, because Eddie Murphy is allegedly ready to take sides with Katt Williams in the beef by exposing Kevin for his real adventure into fame. As Katt Williams has been trying to tell the public that Kevin is an industry plant, Eddie is about to support the claim as he's ready to drop receipts to solidify that the claim is genuine.
In 15 years in Hollywood, no one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show, there being a line for him ever getting a standing ovation at any comedy club.
So it's like it's time for Kevin's infamous story of working his way to the top is about to come to an end. Eddie isn't the type of guy to bluff when he doesn't have the backing to support his words. He's pretty laid back and doesn't like anything to stain his reputation. So Eddie is talking about pulling out receipts to prove Kevin is an industry plant, as Katt claimed, which may be one of the most outrageous news of the year's first half. Y'all may know about Katt and Kevin not being on good terms for long, but the public may not know how the whole feud started. Let's get into it. Katt and Kevin entered their warfare originally in 2008, after Kevin allegedly snatched a role from Katt in the Fool's Gold film. While Katt had initially been awarded as the actor for that role, he couldn't meet up with the production timing due to his frequent run-ins with the police back then. Katt was caught up in a series of legal issues about his intake and possession of illegal substances. Anyway, it was a bad time for Katt in his career. But fortunately for Kevin, it happened to be a good time for his own career. Kevin was considered for the job and didn't pass on the opportunity. As you can imagine, Katt wasn't cool with Kevin taking his place in the film, but that wasn't the end. The same situation repeated itself after Kevin was given the chance to work with Eddie Murphy in his Meet Dave film. The role Kevin played in the film also allegedly belonged to Katt. So yeah, Katt believed Kevin wasn't his brother's keeper because he didn't know when to stop playing in his face by taking up his roles and acting like it wasn't a problem. Katt didn't publicly state he was upset about Kevin's actions, but always subtly made his feelings known. During an interview, when Katt was promoting his movie Scary Movie 5, Katt said he didn't have a problem with Kevin Hart, and he never had, simply because he's a fan of comedy and judges a person by what they bring comedically. He continued that if he is the king in the comedy business, then his crown is not supposed to be worn by anybody else, claiming it doesn't mean that some people in the industry won't try to put it on someone else's head, but the crown won't match and he wanted his crown back. Yeah, the public knew Katt was referring to Kevin taking up his comedic role with the statement. But while Katt didn't outrightly mention Kevin's name in connection to taking up his roles back then, he laid it out as it is when he went on the Club Shay Shay podcast.
For a 5-year period, every single movie that Kevin Hart did was a movie that had been on my desk, that all I had said was, just, can we take some of this step and fetch it shit out?
That wasn't even close to what Katt said about Kevin in the podcast. He made sure to get more about Kevin off his chest. During the podcast, he talked about Kevin's mysterious rise to fame. Katt couldn't figure out how Kevin could have his own sitcom and a role in the Soul Plane movie just within a year of his debut in Hollywood. No one can convince Katt that Kevin was just lucky enough to land such a breakthrough, or that his talent paved the way for him, because some people have been more talented than Kevin, and they couldn't bag such a huge deal. So Katt labeled Kevin an industry plant. Katt was trying to tell the public that Kevin has been fronting with being a talented comedian, while his career was getting pushed forward by some people behind the scenes. And these people are called the gatekeepers of the industry.
Kevin Hart. Now, you know when Katt Williams said gatekeepers?
Yeah.
Kevin Hart, I do his podcast.
Yes.
The allegations of Kevin selling his soul to the Hollywood elites became a thing after Katt's claim on the podcast. But that wasn't the only negative claim Katt made about Kevin. Katt also talks about Kevin going against his personal beliefs and words. This came when the alleged ritual of males wearing dresses in the industry was discussed. Katt is one of the male comedians in the industry who didn't attribute their ability to be funny to wearing a dress. It just doesn't sit right with him. Dave Chappelle is another male comedian who prefers to stick to his principle of being a man and only wearing man's clothes. Dave Chappelle once told Oprah Winfrey that he let a $50 million deal go just because he wasn't willing to take part in the alleged men in dress ritual.
There's certain dots, like when I see that they put every black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career, I'll be connecting them down like, wow, all these brothers gotta wear a dress.
It's considered a ritual because the men who accept to wear dresses not only enjoy the benefit of their career taking off after, but they also get to spread their wings wider in the industry. It seemed like a ritual required to boost their career in the industry, and those not interested in participating in it were thrown to the curb regarding their career. Anyway, if you're wondering how this is related to Katt dragging Kevin Hart in this aspect, here's why. Kevin was initially built like Katt and Dave Chappelle in this aspect. He couldn't picture himself being dressed just to be funny. So when Kevin was questioned about how he felt concerning Dave's choice of letting such a huge amount of money go, he hopped on the same bandwagon with Dave, claiming it's all about knowing boundaries and protecting one's brand. Interestingly, Kevin was the one who burst his own bubble and showed the public he wasn't a man of his word. Just a year after Kevin declared never allowing a producer or job to put him in a dress, Kevin showed up to an SNL skit wearing one.
Pope Conventionate is lifting her arms into her signature muscle man pose.
Truly adorable, and everyone loves it.
Kevin knew he had gone against his own words, and that the public would come at him for it. So Kevin didn't hesitate to switch the narrative about the dress-wearing saga. Kevin went on an interview and claimed it was his choice to do what he had done because no one forced him to wear a dress. He did it because he felt it would be funny, and that's what he loves to do, making people laugh. But was Kevin really just trying to make people laugh, or was there a juicy offer involved? Just like his predecessors, Kevin's career took off real big after the whole dress-wearing alleged ritual. So the public was left to decide if it was just for laughs, or if he put up with what was best for him and his career. Katt wasn't the only one who agreed that Kevin compromised his beliefs, because he sold his soul to the industry gatekeepers to secure a spot in the industry's big leagues. Eddie Murphy also feels the same way about Kevin being under influence of some elites in the industry, and he's allegedly coming forward with receipts to prove it. Another celebrity who deeply feels that Kevin is in that position is Mo'Nique. Mo'Nique is a legendary actress and comedian who doesn't fail to speak her truth, regardless of the consequences. So when Mo'Nique went on the Club Shay Shay podcast to spill, she remembered to mention Kevin and his so-called Gatekeepers League. Mo'Nique discussed how Kevin had butt in during her difficult time in the industry. Mo'Nique recounted that her adamant refusal to accept to work for free for Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry brought her more problems than she had bargained for. The context is that Mo'Nique was featured in a film called Precious years ago, with Oprah and Tyler being the movie's producers. While Mo'Nique was paid a measly sum of $50,000, she was still asked to go on a promotion tour for the movie. To top it all off, the actress was meant to travel to another country to get on with the promotional work without getting a dime. So Mo'Nique stood her ground, saying that wasn't in her contract and she wasn't willing to go. But this led to her being blackballed in the industry, regardless of her being an Oscar award winner. Mo'Nique was tagged as difficult to work with because she wasn't ready to hop on a plane to another country for free. Anyway, Kevin came into the picture after he offered Mo'Nique help monetarily, and he even tried to end the rift between Mo'Nique and Tyler.
When my family was up against the wall, Kevin Hart wrote us a check and said, "Here you go. We're forever grateful for that."
However, Kevin couldn't suture the relationship between the two Hollywood stars, but he offered to be of major help to Mo'Nique in another way. Kevin told Mo'Nique he was willing to partner with her and even be an executive producer in any work she was willing to bring to life. It was a good offer, because Kevin's career had already taken off, and his name being featured in any work related to Mo'Nique would have instantly brought her shine back. Unfortunately, Kevin allegedly didn't want to lose his spot in the big leagues table. So when it was time to honor the deal, Kevin fell through. He just couldn't put himself under the bus for Mo'Nique's benefit. However, Katt wasn't done with Kevin after putting his name down in the Club Shay Shay podcast. He still went on to play petty, as he invited Kevin's ex-wife, Tori Hart, to go on his Dark Matter tour with him. Knowing Kevin's history with Tori, Katt fueled the feud, claiming he only put comedians who were funnier than him on tour. Yeah, that was Katt throwing shade at Kevin. But Kevin acted like he wasn't bothered about it. A TMZ reporter took advantage of the situation and asked Kevin about his ex-wife and sworn enemy going on tour together. Well, Kevin wished them well, but it didn't seem like he genuinely meant his words. Their long-standing beef still seems to be in the works. It doesn't even look like they're going to stop anytime soon. Still, when Eddie releases the receipts about Kevin being an industry plant he's talking about, can we all agree it will be a wrap for Mr. Kevin Hart? Do you think Kevin is in for a long ride, as he has picked one of the wrongest celebrities to have a feud with? Or do you think Katt is the one unnecessarily taunting Kevin? Let us know in the comments section. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and turn on post notifications so you don't miss out on celebrity news updates.